Welcome to Ecomm Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show where we believe ads are not bad, ignorance is expensive, and the American dream is alive and well on the wild west of the internet. Today, it is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, in the year of our Lord. We're coming to you live and in living color from an undisclosed yet beautiful and almost summery undisclosed location in the Austin, Texas hills. We're brought to you by Northbeam, Incense, Seguno, Postscript, Rocked, After Sale, Axon by AppLovin, Proxima, and Universal Ads. And we have got a jam-packed show for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Meta is officially, you heard it from the one and only Colin Doherty and his inside source. But Meta is officially reassigning 7,000 workers to focus on AI. That is in addition to all of the people that they are simply laying off. The New York Times has released a piece on this. We are going to dive into it and into the vibes that is inside of one of the most important pieces of e-commerce today. Grocery inflation is up a record high since 2023. Amazon has released an ability to create AI-generated podcasts. I don't know if this is what we are asking for. And X has released Creator Connect, further building out their ad product. This is bullish for all of e-commerce. We're going to be joined by Kasra Moradi today. He is, you have seen his videos everywhere where he's actually calling his customers who abandon cart. He calls them, calls them to recover him. He's the founder and CEO of Multiply. He is a drop shipping demon in the very best sense of the word. And always to talk about it all, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get inside this show.
Golly.
You're looking great today. I decided to change it up and go with my my trusted zip today. You like this look?
I love it, dude. I'm trying to look like a Miami guy who does a lot of drugs.
No. We
What?
don't. We don't. We are not promulgators of
What do you
illicit
mean?
things upon the show.
What do you mean? I don't say I actually do it. I'm just trying to look like that guy. I'm trying to look like Miami Vice.
What you mean is you look like you want to look like Don Johnson from the 80s, which I would say that you do. You're on your way there. You look great today. And the peptides, they are helping. Meta, as you have said, as you predicted, more chaos and havoc to come. Meta is officially not just laying people off, but reassigning about 7,000 workers. This story comes to us by way of the New York Times. Eli Tan is reporting from San Francisco. I think because Meta is such a crucial piece of all of e-commerce, you know, what's going on there likely to affect the ad product over here, which most of our livelihoods depend upon. Let's read this, react to it, and get into it. The vibes are sweaty. Everybody is sweaty over at Meta right now. Meta told employees on Monday that it was reassigning 7,000 workers to focus on new initiatives around artificial intelligence, the latest change in a company transformation spurred by the powerful technology. Employees will be moved to 4 new organizations focused on building new AI tools and apps. Janelle Gale, Meta's head of human resources, said in an internal memo, breaking news here, that internal memo was leaked. And so there have been pieces of it here and there all upon the timeline. Organizations will use, quote, AI native design structures and have fewer managers per employee than other parts of the company. This is actually something we saw Coinbase talk about, how they're getting rid of a number of managers. Very interesting. She said, adding that company leaders will send details about the new roles on Wednesday. Restructuring, quote, will make us more productive and make the work more rewarding. Interesting. I wonder what that means. Make us more productive and make the work more rewarding. I wonder, how does getting reorganized and getting fewer managers make your work more rewarding, unless they're just getting paid more? I don't know.
Probably not.
Meta declined to comment further on the changes. The reassignments were announced before layoffs of roughly 8,000 employees, or 10% of Meta's workforce on Wednesday. The company, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, employed more than 78,000 people at the end of 2025. It had told workers late last month that some of their jobs would be cut as a part of Meta's effort to be more efficient, as it invested heavily in AI development. Before we keep going here, Colin, your thoughts on this?
Terrible, to be expected from Meta at this point. I mean, just absolutely terrible. Nothing like a mass layoff before Memorial Day weekend. They also sent everybody to work from home tomorrow so that they can basically nuke everyone at 5 in the morning. That's when all the layouts are scheduled to go out. It's 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And so maybe don't buy the hot dogs for Memorial Day weekend because you might not have a job.
Yeah, maybe buy a spam hot dog. They would be delicious, nevertheless. Even I would think they would be quite cheap, but they will be delicious, nevertheless. A little more here. Apparently, Cisco announced it's laying off 4,000 employees. Did you know that? I did not know.
Ooh.
Cisco laying off last week. Networking giant Cisco announced it's laying off 4,000 employees.
There's two Ciscos.
Oh, who were you thinking? Oh, you were thinking of SYSCO.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is CISCO. Announced it's laying off 4,000 employees. Of course, Microsoft, Block, Coinbase, we have all discussed that and know the layoffs that have happened there. The not just cutting back, but also Meta is closing 6,000 open roles.
Yeah.
So 6,000 roles of, hey, come work with us. They are closing 6,000 of those. So this is not like, hey, we're cutting the chaff and hiring more people. This is like, we're getting rid of people. We're reassigning another 10%, and then we're closing the opportunity for what could have been an additional 10% for the future. Interesting to say the least. Article goes on, workers have been on edge this month. A new policy on Meta's training of AI tools with employee data created outrage over privacy concerns. Company has also been reassigning employees to its new AI organization. So you stack these things on top of each other. The layoff still happening, then the big reassignment, then the closing of 6,000 open roles, and then with Cisco, in addition to that, and then Meta's piece about, hey, AI is going to be watching you and learning from what you are doing. It doesn't feel good. I think if I were inside of the organization, I would be sweating as well. Probably those who still have a job today are thankful, though.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not good. Someone was telling me yesterday that people said, I was saying basically, the vibes are off right now at Meta. Somebody commented back and basically said the vibes were never on. The vibes were never there, which is interesting because it's kind of an interesting vibe to come out of that. I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. I mean, I guess you just Coinbase this thing and hope that the stock just keeps going up and to the right and you push everybody into AI and that's your bet. But it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal what is happening from Meta right now.
Kristen Kupke, she is like the new Meta person on Twitter. She emerged on the timeline for me. Maybe she's been around for a long time and I wasn't aware, but she emerged on the timeline for me a couple of weeks ago ahead of the Meta Performance Marketing Summit. She is a sales leader. I think she works with the disruptors kind of segment of their business. She says this vibes at Meta this week, and the sweaty Key and Peele, the sweaty
That's terrible
meme. Probably real. Probably very real.
Super real. It's also an impossible way to get productive, creative work done when you basically are working feeling like a sniper is just drawn on you, waiting for you to mess up to take that shot on you, which is kind of how it feels like at Meta right now. I would be shocked if people aren't doing basically just safe work. People are just doing the safest amount of work they can to cover their bases. Zero creativity. They can't take any gambles right now because any gamble outside of the status quo for Meta leads yourself up to getting basically blasted into the sun. So,
you know what? I believe Toby from Shopify, or many others, there have definitely been others, if it wasn't Toby from Shopify, have said is that entrepreneurship is the safest job out there.
for sure.
Because one can always do more. You can try more, you can shake the bushes, whatever it is, even if it's live selling, which we have seen from Kip Rowland. Kip, he's not just on his own channel live selling anymore. He's got a whole grip of live sellers, and now they are live selling on his behalf. I don't know what their pay structure is, but he was just at Disney World this past week, and somebody was selling, and they made $8,000 during the live. And so, he said it felt pretty good to be at Disney World and to make $8,000 in revenue while he was not there sweating, selling. He was off at Disney World with his family.
That's incredible.
I mean, it could be that in this, messy moment of AI, as we all figure it out, and it gets figured out among white collar workers, especially, Mike Beckham being on the show as of late, he said probably the next 2, 3, 5 years going to be messy middle here. But during that period, maybe it's the best time to bet on oneself. Justin Buckley, I think, would advocate for the very same thing, who was just your partner at Premier Courses. Maybe this is the time to, if you get forced to take a break, maybe it could be the best thing that ever happened to you. I mean, Justin was just on here saying that a layoff is an opportunity.
It is a layoff. It's a redirection. It's how you take that opportunity. And it's definitely no fun. It's not a fun time for anybody.
Well, we wish all of our friends at Meta well, and we hope the ad product doesn't suffer too much as we focus on AI and continue to develop things there. As we move forward to our stories of the day, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Postscript. Focus is an amazing thing, is it not? Yes, it is. When one focuses, you get outsized results. That's why when people make the switch from whatever SMS partner they have that does 6 or 7 odd other things altogether to Postscript, who only does SMS marketing, people see on average a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue. I didn't see that. I saw a whole lot more. We went from making like almost no money with SMS to being a top 1% account on Postscript's entire platform. And the way that we did that was I just listened to what they said and I did it. And what they are saying right now is that you're leaving a ton of money on the table when your customers text you back. Now, I know you got to sleep at night. Okay. And there are only so many legal waking texting hours. But if you go to the conversation report, direct-to-consumer.co/the conversation report, you're going to get all the data. And Postscript's AI shopper can now have one-to-one conversations with all of your customers, brand voice appropriate, brand knowledge appropriate, etc., and make you money while you sleep. Maybe you end up taking that afternoon nap. Nate Lagos was just on here, made $17,000 while he was away and completely disconnected from his phone the day they turned AI Shopper on. Go talk with Postscript. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, alongside this, a little bit of not the news you want to hear. Meta reassigning workers, layoffs, etc. People nervous, people sweating inside of one of the most crucial ad tech pieces of what we do in e-commerce. Grocery inflation hitting its highest levels since mid-2023. Now, this is bad news for everyone. It's especially bad news for those of us involved in retail and those of us involved in CPG. This story comes to us from Grocery Dive, which I did not even know that this publication existed, but Grocery Dive does exist, okay? And not what you want to hear. The highlights are food at home prices rose in April at a 2.9% annual clip, fastest pace of increase in almost 3 years, according to Consumer Price Index data. Grocery inflation moved up 0.7% last month compared with March. Tomato prices, as an example, increased nearly 40% in April compared with the same period in 2025. Highest rate of inflation among the food at home categories. Not what you want to see. The piece that is like the no-brainer duh here is that as like staples get more expensive, if your product does not fall into the category of need and must have, as people's wallets get eaten up more and more on staples and everyday things like gas and food, there's less share of wallet for your unnecessary widget if it does not fall into the category of need. Is that fair to say, Colin? I would think that this doesn't equate good news for us as we head into the summer for D2C, which for many brands is a slump of a time.
This is absolutely brutal news coming out of today. I mean, inflation, fighting all of that, and not to get too nerdy with everything. There's also a flip on Fed rate hikes instead of rate cuts. And so we might actually come back to the Fed adding in rate hikes into the rest of the system.
No.
There's a 30% chance that the new Fed chair, Walsh, is going to be hiking now instead of cutting.
Stop it.
So capital becomes more expensive as a result. And if capital becomes expensive, borrowing becomes expensive. And on top of that, you make groceries expensive too. This is a consumer crunch. This is not fun. I really, a lot of me is I love the United States. I love everything that we do. Part of me is like, gosh, what would it look like for me to just bounce to like somewhere else for 6 months? Like, let me just bounce to Costa Rica for like 6 months or something like that.
Does it get any cheaper in Costa Rica though? That's the question. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I know that in some places in Central South America, I mean, you're definitely going to get, more bang for your coin. But I don't know. Is Costa the move?
I might move to Laos. Just move to Laos and do this show at 1 a.m. And yeah, I don't know. There's a really interesting thing that's going to happen right now, where there is a crunch of like the white collar American, and there's going to be some decisions that are going to have to be made over the next 5 to 10 years of like, is the United States the place where you're going to retire because of affordability? And I think that's
you have been on this. You have talked about this a lot,
and I really think it is a conversation that like will start to be percolating within the kind of mainstream. I think you make your money in the United States. You got New York City, the hubbub of finance, and you can just cut deals like out the wazoo. But God, just have me retire in a little like vineyard in Italy, and I'll smoke cigarettes all day and play with like my 6 golden retrievers. Like, that sounds amazing.
One of those $1 villas in Italy, I think they still exist. You just got to be like a great craftsman and constructioneer, and somehow navigate the European system for actually building something.
So I followed up on that. I was like, whatever happened to those? You can buy them for $1. They're usually in like the smaller towns. Yeah. You usually had to put like $50,000 to $80,000 in restoring it.
Totally.
And you would have to go through the local craftsmen and the local laborers as well. But I don't know. I mean, and then you have a villa in Italy for basically, I mean, you could take out a construction loan and like all these things, and it's still like a viable option. They were like semi-successful, which is really interesting.
Well, maybe it's time, especially for the dinks among us, double income, no kids. Maybe it's time to get that villa in Italy or elsewhere.
Yeah.
Just a few more points here. It's not just 40% tomatoes. Meat prices continue to play a central role in pushing up prices in April, with beef price inflation remaining in double digits. Prices for uncooked beef roast were up almost 18% last month.
Brutal.
Compared with their level a year ago. Prices for uncooked beef steaks surged just over 16%. Uncooked ground beef prices up 14%, 14.5%. Also paying significantly more for fruits and vegetables, moved up approximately 6%. Fresh vegetable prices were up at an especially fast clip. Egg prices, which were a symbol of high grocery prices last year, fell more than 39%. So that is good. Now, what I will say, juxtaposing this, very interesting. Very unique, especially with the data you just cited about, hey, maybe we're going to have rate hikes.
Brutal.
Grocery
Would be
prices going
devastating
up.
for us.
The D2C CI, okay, direct to consumer confidence index.
Is
Okay,
it up?
if you're not familiar with that, you should be. You should be. This is put out by No Commerce and CTC, and I often look at it and cite it. Jack, I don't know if you can bring this up, but I'm going to talk about it nevertheless. A real-time view of the macroeconomic sentiment of your customers this month. 100.7 plus 10%. And things are looking up. I mean, we're green. We're up and to the right. Monthly averages are looking good. Last year was 96.8. This month, 100.7. So consumer sentiment, at least as it relates to direct to consumer, is up. So we have these juxtaposed things here. Potential Fed rate hikes, groceries more expensive. You want your meat. If you're a heart and soil boy and all you eat are steaks, you're paying 16% more every month. But the consumer confidence here, as it relates to direct to consumer, is up this month. Does this surprise you?
I'm going to give you a counterpoint. Jack,
Okay,
can you bring up the tweet
please.
that I just sent in our chat? This is a tweet from Jason Calcanis. He tweeted this out a couple days ago. They updated the price changes for selected U.S. goods, goods, services, and wages. Price change January 2000 to now. They just updated it. If you want to click into that, you can see the breakdown by category compared to overall inflation for the last 5 years. Look at that. I mean, just feel that for a sec. So like
TVs are cheaper. TVs
basically, I could use TVs as drywall at this point. I mean,
because they're selling our data. They're selling us. This is why they're cheap. But anyway, keep going.
A really interesting one that applies to us. Computer software down 73%. Really interesting.
Wow.
Really interesting. New cars down 25%. Very interesting. Overall inflation rose 92% over the past 5 years. So the two that stand out that suck so much. Number one, hospital services up 281%. I mean, I could go on my diatribe for the fact that we have basically a brutal hospital healthcare system in the United States, but I won't do that, Chris.
Thank you.
And then if you dive into medical care services, childhood, nursery, college textbooks, the two that stand out the most, where I think are going to get absolutely hammered over the next couple of years, are college tuition and fees and college textbooks. Why on earth am I going to buy a college textbook?
Yeah, I mean, that's that college for sure is totally up in question. I mean, that
200%.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people making the actual decision. Like, am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And there's a story that
we're
going to cover later where anyway, there is a very relevant story that we're going to cover later related to this. Yeah.
So here's my big question for one of these pieces is, how does AI affect all of these? So I'm diving into college textbooks. If a college textbook's $300 and I did this my senior year, I was like, I'm not going to buy this. I'm just going to go online and find out about it. And I did fine. Like, and now that was before LLMs. That was before
you
Claude.
did this. You did this.
I mean, you know, I was also me, you know, a little bit messing around, doing crazy stuff. But this was before LLMs. This was before Gemini. Gemini just released a full SAT prep course, a full college guide course. And you're telling me I need to spend $300 per class that I'm taking on a textbook I'm going to use once?
Yeah.
How does that make sense? The information's out there. Like some of this stuff is just going to get blown up into smithereens. And I mean, it's just really interesting how I don't know. I think AI is just going to nuke a lot of this stuff.
It's going to be a very interesting next 2 to 3 to 5 years. It is. It's going to be
Can you imagine? So I'm 31. What does the world look like when I'm 40?
I don't know.
And so here's the crazy thing. Eventually I'll have kids. What advice am I going to give to them? Because I bet you all the advice I would have given to myself growing up as like me growing up in, when I grew up, all of that's probably outdated.
I mean, there's probably going to be a lot that's outdated. Yeah.
So like, what is going to happen? I mean, this is just we're in weird times. We're in weird times.
It's weird times. It's weird times. And, conflicting, juxtaposed information. It'll be very interesting to see how May plays out and how the summer plays out for those of us selling widgets upon the interwebs. Typically a slump type of season for many e-commerce businesses, many brands. Be very interesting to see what takes place, especially leading into Q3 and your big buys to prepare for Q4.
Pro tip: everybody's gonna probably dunk on this and be like, obviously, Colin, we're not scrubs. Keep your Memorial Day sale up after Memorial Day. Just
why not?
Creative ride. Let it ride for a little bit.
Let it ride.
I'm telling you, just keep it riding for a little bit, maybe a couple weeks. It'll work.
And Nate Lagos already told us it's time for Father's Day now. It's time for Father's Day. You run 2 holiday promos. Run 2 one time. Why not? Why not test it?
I'm telling you.
Why not test it? Amazon's new Alexa Plus has the ability to generate podcast episodes. I don't know what to make of this.
Not good.
I don't know who asked for this. But let's read. Let's read. I cannot imagine you asked for this because you are upon this show for several hours every day. Amazon announced the latest update to Alexa Plus on Monday, the ability to generate podcast episodes on demand. The new feature called Alexa Podcast is rolling out to consumers in the US today. It is available today for everyone who has been awaiting with bated breath. Amazon describes the capability as a way to turn any topic you're curious about into a podcast episode ready in minutes. To use the feature, all users have to do is ask Alexa Plus to create a podcast about a topic they're interested in. Users don't need to upload documents, write scripts, or plan anything ahead of time. Instead, Alexa Plus researches the request, gathers information, and generates a quick overview of what the episode will cover. From there, users can tweak things like length, tone, and focus of the episode. Once finalized, Alexa Plus uses AI-generated host voices. Can't imagine that's too pleasant to narrate the podcast. When the episode is ready, users get a notification through their Echo Show device. And inside the Alexa app, episodes are also saved in the app's music and more sections. Features another example of how Amazon is trying to turn Alexa Plus into more than just a voice assistant. They want it to act more like a personalized AI content creator? ? Does anybody need this? Launch is likely to spark some debate. AI-generated voices, automated content continue to raise questions around ethics, accuracy, blah, 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 blah. My biggest question is does anybody want this? This just seems like a total nothing burger. I mean, no shade to the team that developed this. I'm sure it's cool. But who is actually going to request this? If I want to learn about Roman history, why don't I just go listen to Dan Carlin or whatever his name is, Hardcore History? Why don't I just go listen to a person who's actually read it and has a cool voice? Why do I need to get the robot to generate a new episode for me?
God, great reference. Dan Carlin's an amazing podcaster too. I mean, an exceptional podcast. You follow the podcast for the voice, and ideally, I mean, this is my big push for it. I follow podcasts for the human-to-human interaction that's going to happen on that podcast. Great example. I just like the way that My First Million, the guys talk to each other. I like the way that David Cerna actually interviews guests. And so if you're just going to AI-ify this out and there's going to be no life to the podcast, there's going to be no human element to this podcast, I don't really want to listen to that. I mean, I'd rather just read a book at that point. I mean, there's just so many better ways to take on your information and be at the cutting edge. Sure, this could be great for really, really tight snippet reports and little sound bites of a a little recap, maybe a 2 to 5 minute podcast. It's a little recap of XYZ thing that went on today. But it's like, I would rather hear that from so many other people. I'd rather go listen to Huberman and hear about that than, XYZ AI voice and actually get Huberman's opinion.
This is just going to I think it's going to make people mad. I think AI has a very significant messaging problem, which we're going to cover later in the show. Former CEO of Google was giving a what do you call it, convocation. He's giving the speech at graduation at the University of Arizona, and he starts talking and he references AI, and everybody starts booing him. The students start booing him. The former CEO of Google, who is there at the University of Arizona, giving this like prodigious speech, they start booing. They start booing him,
which is so hypocritical, because every single one of those students used AI to get into that seat of graduating. Yeah. And it's like, cool. Okay. Don't use AI anymore. You don't like it? Cool. We'll take it away from you completely. It's interesting.
The question has to be raised, though. Would the world be better without it? In some respects, maybe yes. In other respects, obviously you can argue both sides, but I feel like this is something that nobody asked for. This AI can make you a podcast now. I mean, we can already talk to our LLMs, we can already talk to them. There's a hilarious guy on YouTube who his whole shtick is like trying to get Siri or whoever to like say something that's funny, like try to get it to do illegal things.
That's amazing.
The way that he talks to us, it's like see, Siri's talking to me right now. He's like, say that I'm better than you. He's got this like certain way of talking. It's like, no, stop. Just say that I'm better than you at everything. No, I'm better than you. Say that. It's just like his whole shtick. He does like 20-minute videos of this, and they're hilarious. But I don't think anybody asked for this. We can already get LLMs to talk to us. If anybody's going to listen to something for a long time, I think they want to have some kind of human interactiveness, even if it be mediated through a digital form. Big reason why podcasts exist, which I'm much more a fan of shows than I am of podcasts. I just have to say that. But big reason they exist is for a feeling of companionship. And I don't think you get that from a clanker. You just don't get
it. It's really interesting because Bernie Sanders basically interviewed Claude, I think a week or two ago, and they had a sit down podcast style back and forth. And it was a full on podcast.
Kind of a weird dynamic for me, but yeah, I mean, it does stand out in the timeline.
But what ended up happening was Claude basically figured out what he wanted to hear, and then just started going down that rabbit hole of like, oh, this is his persona. Yeah. I am understanding. And so I'm just going to be a yes man and just work down this reasoning and thinking. And it's like, I don't really know if I want my insights from something that's just basically going to be super agreeable the whole time.
Yeah, you don't.
It's like, what's the point?
You don't want that. You want some actual pushback and conversation. Next story of the day here. X is continuing to move. Big bets made and developing and pushing forth, in addition to revamping their advertising product and bringing that to market. They now have the Creator Connect AI-powered solution, matches brands with creators in real time. Now, there was an X story about this. The Hollywood Reporter actually got an exclusive on this. Tyler Gold over at X cited Hollywood Reporter says a social platform now controlled by Elon Musk, SpaceX is bringing a new product called Creator Connect to market using AI to connect brands. Grok, one would imagine, using Grok to bring relevant creators to brands in search of more ad dollars. This is we've got some quotes here that I think are relevant, bring to our audience here, especially because as X continues to roll this out and improve, I think there's going to be very relevant ad space to be had, already is, for Ecomm, D2C brands, etc. Now you add this piece, ability to collab and work together with creators, find creators, use Grok to do that on the X platform. Great win. X wants to carve out a bigger slice of the creator economy, and it is launching a new product that it thinks can entice creators to do more on the platform and earn revenue by doing it, while also persuading big brands to spend more on ads, all powered by AI, of course. Quote, we've been really looking at this as the year when we're entering our creator era as a platform. You love to hear that for X? I do.
Love to hear that.
Love to hear it. And really trying to build a platform that fosters a healthy creator economy, says Mitchell Smith, global head of content partnerships for X. Smith notes that X has in the past few months launched a Creator's Choice Award, did not know that, with cash prizes for winners, as well as starter packs, which provide new users lists with creators in relevant areas like sports or business. Our head of product, Nikita, is so committed to really bettering the platform for creators, Smith adds. As a result, we're seeing a lot of great engagement around creators, and all of that organic work finally gives us the credibility to now go to market with a commercial offering. Commercial offering is called Creator Connect. It is meant to connect brands and campaigns with specific creators that will resonate. Company's a bit vague, Hollywood Reporter says, on the mechanics of it, but it will use tech from sister company XAI and incorporate campaign objectives, real-time trends, and audience interest. When a brand partners with X, it will use the tech to identify hyper-specific creators. That's what we're always hearing. I heard it from Cody Whittick yesterday. He's always talking about this. Hyper-specific creators spanning video, text, or whatever medium they engage with, or some combination, with the tech platform reaching out to creators that are surfaced to gauge interest in participating in the campaign. What we can do is we can provide clients with a brand new AI-powered system to essentially select the most impactful creators on the platform. Your thoughts on this? I'm bullish on this. I think the more they go this direction, the better it is for us in D2C and e-commerce. I want more.
I want us to be creators on this. I don't know what you're thinking about, but I'm thinking we need to be creators on this.
I think we do. You know, hopefully we are. Hopefully we will be. I don't know exactly
how does that work. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm a big fan. I think particularly, give me your thoughts on this. I think for sure, this is totally relevant. We're going to cover a story on it later, actually. Totally relevant for the whole tech scene, creators related to the tech scene. I mean, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X, is rife with software, development products, tech, creators, etc. This is totally, it makes all the sense in the world to me for that niche. I wonder about beyond that, though, as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is crucial because you're seeing a lot of these kind of like tech launches. You're seeing a lot of stuff come out of Twitter right now in the tech sphere. And it would be interesting to start to leverage these creators in more of a structured, organized way. It feels a little Wild West right now. And I think this is kind of the yearn from the community is basically we want a structure and we want to kind of think about these folks in categories and buckets for how we can interact with them. If we have a new beta feature launch that we want to actually float out, if we have an actual product launch, if we want to promote our product, if we're actually looking to hire somebody. And so there's a really interesting way to think about this from a lot of different tiers where I think X is uniquely positioned with all the data they're sitting on top of within the tech sphere.
No doubt. And I'm interested, beyond tech, is there another place for sports like on the internet? I feel like X is like the place for real-time happening live events like sports specifically. So there's got to be a lot of opportunity to be had there, especially in the midst of live sports. People debut offers, an example would be Mr. Beast doing something on Whatnot during the Super Bowl. There's got to be an opportunity for creators during live events on X that make all the sense in the world, specifically around sports, I would think as well.
Let's do it.
I think structure around this only helps, and you're totally right. It's a bit Wild West right now. There's always talk of some telegram that got exposed, some secret group chat. There's always talk of this. I think the structure will be good. And Better days ahead upon the X platform and advertising. Speaking of advertising, before we move forward to our next story, let's talk about universal ads. Ladies and gentlemen, if your growth is plateauing on social and search channels, it might be time to rethink TV. In fact, it is time to rethink TV. Universal Ads makes it simple for DC brands to run TV campaigns designed for performance without the mystery that's continually shrouding television in the past. You get access to both premium streaming and linear inventory all in one place, okay? And you're reaching net new target audiences instead of just beyond the same crowded channels that we're all advertising on already. No hidden markups or fees. 100% of your dollars are going to actual media, so your dollars work harder for you. Campaign setup management is, it feels just like search and social. So you can be up and running in minutes. TV designed for performance marketers. Go sign up at universalads.com URL. Scrolling across the screen below. Use UA Cowboy. You get $1,500 in matched ad credits. Go work with Universal Ads today. TV is so back. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, a interesting thread that I feel we must cover. We all know David Herman, GOAT inside of our space when it comes to paid media. The guy, he has like a gazillion dollars in ad spend that he's overseeing at all times. He has been on a trek throughout Asia. He's been in Korea. He's been in Singapore. He's been in a bunch of places. Okay. A good thing is he's had his laptop with him. Okay.
He's avoiding grocery inflation.
He is. He's
see what I mean? See, the smart guy's avoiding it. You see now you're like, okay.
I mean, it could be that groceries are more expensive in Korea, though. I don't know. I don't know. It could be. You don't think so?
Well, maybe North Korea, but not South Korea.
The kimchi for sure is got to be less expensive over there than it is in Southern California. And Central Texas. Kimchi is great for you. Jack, if you will bring this tweet up for us from David Herman. I'd like to read this, talk through it, and then some very interesting reactions that we have to show and comment on as well. Presently sitting in a cafe in my wife's hometown of Jeonju, South Korea, drinking a latte, doing a bit of a gut check on meta and media buying and the state of D2C in May of 2026. Wouldn't you like to have been there in Jeonju with David while he is reclining and considering? Methinks so. Right now, it's brutal. There's no rhyme or reason as to why something is working / not working. I've got an inbox full of brands asking for audits and help. Flex, historically post Mother's Day, always tracks pretty low, but this year has been one for the records and not in the direction you would hope. We will always say it is economic issues, the media buyer, or is Meta, bigger share of wallet, just making massive updates, ? The reality, none of us truly know, which makes things always that much harder to diagnose. I've been in advertising now for 18 years. Last calendar year has been the most I've ever been uprooted in my professional career. 21 through 22 was the year of iOS 14. 25 to 26 is the year of what I would call the AI guinea pig era. Do you like this? I think this is an interesting moniker, maybe quite fitting. You like this?
It is kind of the AI guinea pig era. I think there's another thing here where it's like the AI procrastination era. I think that needs to be talked about way more. But yeah, we can continue with this.
Continue. I'm not necessarily complaining it was going to happen, but I just didn't realize how much all of this would impact so many brands. From AI slop to AI bots, AI has infiltrated every facet of your business for good and bad. Even some of the most stable, highest spending accounts I have access to are seeing broad issues, mostly related to issues on Meta. I write this quickly to tell you once again, you're not alone. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thanks. You're not alone. It gives me comfort. I think we can all find some peace in knowing this. That doesn't mean being complacent. There are plenty of things to try, test, and do in your businesses. However, for the remainder of May until Meta, again, biggest share of wallet, launches their new AI Pixel, new Meta workflow, and slows down their innovation, quote, I find it hard to spend more unless we absolutely see bright spots. Again, it's not all doom and gloom. Some accounts are a bit unfazed because of strong organic signals, but for the majority, it is rough. Most accounts were seeing downward trends in the days pre-Mother's Day. The only thing that has helped stabilize has been reducing spend. That's it. Ooh. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. The only thing that has helped stabilize has been reducing spend. That's it. Never want to see that. Again, your businesses are all different, but I'm not going to gaslight you in saying things are good because the reality is they aren't. Heads down, though, figuring it out one ad at a time, or in Johnny Hickey's instance, 1,500 new ads at a time, one campaign at a time, and one channel at a time. This too shall pass. Your thoughts here on the wise words from David Herman?
I mean, it's absolutely brutal. I agree with him just for how long that I've been in here and been in the industry. It's it's insane all of the changes that have already taken place. In any other industry, you would never have this many changes that would come in month and month throughout, and you would just have to deal with them. I think we're slowly seeing the meta arbitrage delta be sifted out entirely, where it's just no longer profitable. You have to understand that going into meta now, where you are going to lose money up front for a conceivable amount of time, similar to what Jordan West was talking about with TikTok Shop, where you have to basically eat the first three and then he adjusted it to 6 months,
He did. He did.
which is kind of cheeky. But I think meta is kind of sprinkling towards that, where you are going to have to basically be on the platform for 2 to 3 months before you actually get the machine fine tuned, oiled up, and running in the proper way. But those first 1 to 2.5 months are just going to be negative. It's just going to be negative, terrible ROAS, terrible CPMs, terrible CPCs. It's going to be a very bad time. And so I think the approach is changing very drastically.
It is a new day. It is a new day.
Yeah.
A new day has dawned, and it is not the same as it was. Next tweet here. Interesting comments. Most of the comments underneath David's post have been like, thank you for writing this. It means a lot. Small operator operating in the dark, don't have the access you do. Appreciate this. Makes me feel good. We're feeling it as well. Most of the comments are this way. Now, not everyone. Brian Ing, I believe is how you would say it. Brian has this to say at Brian NIJHO. Only the killers are still doing well. Don't see any of my ad accounts having downturns. Too many ecom bros making AI doctor ads, AI UGC, and crushing the old ecom dogs that haven't really caught on with what is working with creatives and landers. They're still making hi-fi bottom of funnel ads, basic offer statics, and screenshots of customer reviews in 2026. RIP.
I agree.
David asked.
I agree.
Do you agree? You agree?
I totally agree. I think
I
think there's a lot of old heads in this industry, and it's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I think there's some of these younger gremlin kids that are coming up that are basically like, cool, I'm going to spin up 1,000 AI doctors and I'm going to have 1,500 ad creatives within the next 2 weeks. And then you still have this like, seasoned media buyer who's like, let's get a static ad out there.
Is that what David Herman is saying? Is that David Herman? Because that's what Brian is doing. Brian's dunking on David.
Yeah, I think people are kind of getting set in their ways for how meta has always run. And I think this newer kind of younger guy, and we'll have one on the show who is not afraid to take any risks, who is just absolutely cracked with AI, is taking some laps around these older folks. Older folks is a terrible statement to say.
Terrible statement, especially in context of David Herman. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that like, oh yeah, David's getting lapped by the young bros? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying the young bros are bringing in new insights that you would not have thought of beforehand because you are used to how everything is. It naturally as kind of has everything. You're used to how this works. You're used to how this thing. So you're kind of staying within your lane here. And these young guns are just coming up saying like, hey, we're going to do all these things. We don't care. We don't care about any of this. Let's rock and roll.
Well, I think that this is really, I think it was not wise. I think this was not wise. Not wise. I would not recommend this. I would not recommend this. And I'm sure he's, I mean, unless he's totally lying, I mean, I'm sure he's telling the truth. Just believe him. You know, he says all his accounts are doing great. Okay, that's awesome. But I think this is really not wise to say. Really not wise to say, especially in the context of David Herman, who is, I mean, how much money has the guy spent? I mean, how
So
giant of the brands has he worked with? And so I think there's a helpful dose of humility to be had that would actually behoove you. I believe Brian. I believe him. Okay, all his counts are doing awesome. That's great. I don't think that's because David's bad.
Definitely not.
That's like the worst. I think that's the worst take that could exist.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Brian is more adventurous and willing to go out on a limb of like basically the fringe methods that are just now hitting the timeline because he is so fresh and new and he doesn't really know any better. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know Brian. I know David. And I think this is a great question that David asks in response. Do you enjoy bragging online? Does it bring you validation and value?
That's awesome.
Brian follows up, no disrespect, David. I'm not referring to you in this post, just what I'm seeing in the industry in general.
I completely agree with that. It's not disrespect to David. I think it is quite literally that last statement that he said. It's just an industry kind of what we're seeing right now. Like there's just some young guns out there that I am horrified of because they're just cracked.
Alex Griefeld says, believe it or not, there are brands out there, the kind of brands that are actually sitting in your closet, kitchen, etc. right now that will not run ads that break the law because they're trying to build enterprise value. Brian says that they are not running ads that break the law. Metab says, congrats on having room temp IQ clients.
What does that mean? Room temp IQ clients.
That's like low. That's like, room temperature is like 75. So he's saying Brian has dumb clients. Anyway, I can't speak to that either, but I don't think that I don't think that this was the right way to go about this, but would not recommend, but he did get a lot of viewership out of it. And beyond that, Ben Corkery speaks positively on his behalf. This comes from Ben. I'll say this. I work with Brian and we keep growing. We don't complain about Meta. We just work to make better ads and offers and landing pages. We also run almost zero AI and we don't use black hat tactics. The point here is that you need to be a savage full stack marketer to compete on Meta at scale. That means creative offers, landers, product. Meta works just fine, but you need to be cutting edge on creative, which is difficult and humbling.
That's exactly what I'm saying here is you have to be on the bleeding edge right now because the arbitrage moment shifts so quickly. And I think that is kind of what these two camps are sitting on. I didn't even know Ben was going to tweet this.
Yeah. Well, here's what I would say is that whatever the bleeding edge is, David's there. That's my point. I think we're being dumb if we say that David Herman is not at the absolute bleeding edge. The guy knows about problems inside of Meta before everyone else does, even before Meta does. There's like no one who's like more bleeding edge than David. I mean, he's the one who actually notifies us, hey, Meta doesn't even know there's a problem yet, but there is.
Yeah, I will say though that David's clients tend to be very large and enterprise and corporate.
Yeah, of course.
And so but with that comes kind of like guardrails and or slower processes. And so you kind of have this like these two different sides to the coin. But I agree. David is incredible and he is very cracked. I just don't know if his clients allow for the super bleeding edge of the very next thing that drops on the timeline that day to be deployed that very next day.
Yeah. Hard to say. Brian, good for you. And all
on the show.
I don't think that I would not recommend this, but Brian, I good for you. Good for you and good for your clients. As we move forward here, we have Kasra Moradi coming to us.
Go.
Who perhaps he is at the bleeding edge, like you describe, Colin. I think he is absolutely good at what he does. And we need to hear from him. But before he comes, we need to talk about Axon and maybe have another story or two. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are running a D2C brand and you are not on Axon yet, you are leaving money on the table. Don't do that. Axon gets you in front of more than 1 billion new customers inside the games everyone loves to play, like Solitaire, Mahjong, Candy Crush, etc. More people play mobile games than you think. We actually have a story that we're going to cover on this later in the show. We're talking mainstream, financially comfortable household decision makers, and the unlock is the format, okay? Average watch time of your ads, 35 seconds. Can you believe it? You better. Miranda Pettinger, we just had her on the show not long ago. She scaled up on Axon when Meta was tripping, as it often does. And David Herman was just describing when Meta is tripping, you got to place your spend somewhere else where you can actually get a good return on your dollar. Miranda Pettinger scaled up to nearly 100K inside of a week and saved her Q4 for her many clients by doing so. All of your favorite brands are there. Get going in less than an hour. Wayfair, Dr. Squatch, they are there. You should get on it before your competitors do. Go to axon.ai/en/ecom Cowboy and get started today. Many thanks for Axon being part of the show. Now, just borrow some of just one, maybe one or two of stories we have yet to cover. Minted. I'm skipping ahead here a little bit, Jack. Minted sold out in 5 minutes for this shoe. And I think that you are a big fan. Marcus, is it Malone? Million? How do you say Marcus's last name? I think Colin is not with us. Colin may have left us. Well, I shall continue. I don't know if Colin is still with us, but I am here. Minted sold out in 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes. This comes to us by Marcus, who has been incredible on the content game, describing and detailing everything that is happening in the background to pull these kind of launches off. Marcus says this sold out in 5 minutes. And Marcus has always been very focused on the running game. I think he himself is a enjoyer of the runs, running outside, not an enjoyer of the runs, enjoyer of running. What a crazy rush. Just sit here trying to deal with it all. Forever grateful for anyone that supported at any point along this journey back to work. And you can see the design here, chromed out. And I think a popular one, to say the least, this chromed out design, which has gone completely inside of 5 minutes. Colin Doherty is back with us as well. Are you with us, Colin?
Yeah, Restream bugged out.
I'm sorry to hear that, but that's okay. Your thoughts on Marcus's shoes that literally could not be kept, even if he wanted to.
He's a beast. He's one of the best creators on TikTok right now. I hate to even say that. I hate to even, count him as a TikTok creator because he's documenting the journey on TikTok and the way he has built this company with the intentionality. And he is going into the factory. He's going into the manufacturer. He's building all of these things himself personally. He's basically he is a clothing designer. He is a shoe designer. He's building an art to this, and it's incredible to watch him absolutely grind and stack win after win after win after win, and then an incredible collaboration. There's a reason that this sold out in 5 minutes because what he is building is incredible. The way he has built over the last 5 years, 10 years is incredible. If you followed along his journey like I have, since the beginning. The way that the brand looks today to between what it was a couple years ago is just absolutely amazing to see the evolution and how he has scaled this thing up so intentionally with some incredible people behind him in New York City.
Colin, has Minted always been a running focused brand?
So no, they kind of float this line between running and clothing, and it's a
That
float.
that's the interesting thing for me, because when I
Yeah,
first became aware of Marcus Minted was like, like look cool fashion guy in New York. That was like my takeaway, was like,
yeah,
you're gonna look awesome wearing
yeah,
Minted.
because he's the man. Yeah,
He
he's
is good looking guy. Okay,
great
great
guy.
creator, good
It's
looking
freaking
guy,
unbelievable.
very
It's like looking at the
fashionable.
sun.
But then there has been this very definite investment in the running
Run.
side of things.
Yeah.
They seem Minted seems like a running brand now.
Yeah, there's been a shift. Their running drops have been exceptional. They've also been doing clothing on top of this. So intentionally having wicking jackets, wicking gloves. Some of the wicking beanies and gloves that they designed are incredible. Just a great vibe. It is premium. It's well designed. It's well made. And yeah, Marcus has absolutely no problem keeping these things in stock because it's just they keep selling out. They just keep selling out every time he drops some stuff, and it's wild how we're seeing this evolve because I think he could just keep doing this and keep selling out no problem. And this cult following that he is building is, I mean, it's just going to be insane when you look at this thing 5 years from now. I think it's going to be gobbled up by somebody.
I'm like shocked that he can like straddle this line. I mean, it almost seems like if I were to like try and ideate on a brand, I just wouldn't think that I could sell corduroys and like
Yeah.
super niche performance running shoes on the same
Yes.
site. I just like wouldn't think of that. But
But Chris,
he's like somehow done it.
you can just do things. That's what I'm saying. It's the Wild West out there. You can just do whatever you want. But I will say on top of this, he is working his butt off. When he's documenting a lot of this on YouTube, and when you go into his YouTube, he is getting up 3:30 in the morning, doing marathon training.
That's
So
early.
he's actively marathon training, then doing strength training, then working on the brand. And he does that usually through 11 to 12 o'clock at night. And then he repeats that every single day.
My. He must
You want
have
to
a
compete with that
strong
guy?
tank. Must have a strong tank. He must have some good fuel in that tank to be able to
That's what
run
I'm
that
saying.
hot.
He's running hot. Do you want to compete with that guy?
Probably not the one you want to compete with.
That's what I'm saying. You can't bet against him.
Don't bet against Minted New York. I think it would be interesting to see like what else he comes out with here. The chromiums, were so well received. You think one would think he's just going to keep rolling shoes off the line. I mean, everybody loved these. The Chromium Endorphin Pro 5, great name, by the way. Yeah, people love these shoes.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of see how he builds this out because I would say he doesn't, and I don't want to speak directly for him, but he'll find a winner. It'll sell out. And then he won't just sit on that winner and be like, okay, cool, let's build V2 of this. Or basically, like, let's restock this. He'll be like, okay, cool, I'm going to throw that out. And now I'm going to make cashmere sweaters. And so there's no like real, it's up to him. It's up to what he is interested in and his way of navigating the business. And it's not really the way you would typically see a founder scale a product where it's like, oh, that worked really well. Let's triple down on that. We'll do a bunch of different SKUs. It's just he's vibes.
He's even got CPG in here. He's got fuel.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah,
gels for going running.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Wow. He's a wild man. He's got some pre-workout too. I don't know if he still has that.
Marcus does it all, including jewelry.
It's crazy.
Well, he is the brand. And in D2C, I mean, often I feel that this is true. Really, what is the brand? It's really an extension of the founder, is what it is, especially at the
Yeah.
early stages. I mean, the earlier you are, the more so it is. And
Yeah.
hey, if Marcus can do it, it is possible. He's
You
doing
wanna know
it.
what's crazy? You wanna know
What?
what's absolutely crazy? I
Yeah.
reached out to Marcus when I was at Triple Whale, and I
Yeah.
was like, "I love what you're doing, dude. I'd love to just get you Triple Whale for a couple months for free, and you just use it." And he was like, "We don't run paid ads, so I don't really know how this would be useful for me." And I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, we just do organic." I'm like, "Whoa. Oh my god."
Crazy.
Yeah. So he is running no paid.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. Well, congrats. Congrats to Marcus on the
Yeah.
launch. 5 minutes here and gone. Jack, is Cass with us yet? Has Cass rejoined us? She is typing in the chat right now.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. We've got one more story that I would like to cover here that I think is juicy, and that is Olipop's rebrand. Have you seen
Let's do it.
this? Beautiful. Look at this packaging. Look at this. I mean, when I saw this, it looks retro. It looks retro. It looks now. It looks 2026. The colors, all of it, it just pops. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure what they looked like before, but I like this much better. You like
Yeah.
this? You like this brand refresh?
Yeah, I saw the before. I actually saw a side by side. The before was a little bit more muted, and I actually love these so much better from a sales perspective. These are just going to really shoot out on the actual, the actual stock inside of an HEB or a Whole Foods. I think this is going to shoot off of the shelves a lot better, and it's still an amazing product, an incredible product here. Just a little bit more of a fun kind of eye-catching vibe, and I thought this was really well done and super intentional.
To me, it feels like it's from the 70s a little bit. It
I
feels
love
like
it.
it feels retro in a great kind of refreshing way. Jack, do you have this, additional graphic here that I found? I mean, look at this. It looks like it's from the 70s. I feel like this,
What a
somebody
vibe.
discovered it and brought it back from 1975. They were drinking it, in amidst Haight-Ashbury in, San Francisco or something. It's like the hippies brought this to us from 1975. This is what it feels like to me, and it feels bright and fresh and Americana and retro all at the same time, except it's got whatever prebiotic goodness it is bringing us in a better for you soda formula. I think this is a win.
What's your favorite flavor?
I don't know. I don't know that I've had Olipop that much.
Wow, I've had every single one of these.
You've had
Um,
all of them? You've had
yeah, I've
all
had
of
all of them.
these?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you
Well,
don't
what's your favorite one?
the cream soda is so good. It's unbelievable.
I still just like drink actual soda. Like I still just drink the real thing, baby. I mean, I'm Coke Zero. I'm Coke Zero, all day. If I can have
That's
it,
fair. That's
I
fair.
want it. I don't drink
That's
it
fair.
all day. I try to treat myself with it. But there's nothing like going to a quick trip or whatever and getting you like a 45-ounce just jug of Coke Zero
Oh my god.
on a Saturday,
Oh
like
my
why
god.
not? Why not delight
Yeah.
oneself?
It's just you and Warren Buffett having 12 Cokes a day.
I try not to have it too often, but
Yeah.
every now and again, I guess a little chemical goodness is okay. Now we have the one and only Kasra Moradi, who is coming to us. He is founder and CEO of Multiply. He has launched and scaled mini drop shipping businesses, and we all know at the end of the day, drop shipping is the business model we'd all like to have working for us. We would. He is going to come to us. We've got to talk with him about everything that he does with like actually calling his customers, cold calling
So
his
good.
customers who abandon cart. Some of the best e-commerce content on the the timeline. But before he comes to us, ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about Seguno. Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What does that mean? Your emails, your reviews, your banners, it's already there where you work and play every day. And it means you don't have to seed your over-attributed data from big email. You can just trust your Shopify data, because with Seguno, your Shopify data and your email data are one. Seguno was built for lean teams with big aspirations, one-click automations, actual humans that can help you. Go and get the advanced Shopify segmentation playbook available at the URL scrolling across below. Go to Seguno, test drive the platform for free. Tell them Colin and I sent you. They will extend that free trial to 30 days. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, we have the one and only Kasra, who is coming in here right now. He is a top G on the timeline whose content has continually made me laugh. And the main reason that I wanted him on here was to talk with him about actually cold calling his abandoned carts, because I think it's, number one, it's hilarious. Number two, I think it's getting him great traffic for whatever else he is doing on the internet. We need to bring him in here and find out his story and talk to him about what else he is doing. Well, everybody, welcome Kasra Moradi. Here he is. Kasra, I think your microphone is off, brother. We cannot. There we go. I think. Oh no, I still can't hear.
You back?
Cannot hear him.
Let's see. I think you got to hit it.
Kasra, can you talk to us now? We cannot hear you, brother.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, we got you now. We got you now. Welcome to the show, Kasra. Appreciate you'd make the time to join us, my man.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Cass, you have got to give us some backstory on yourself, and I want to hear about these calls that you make. Cold calling your abandoned carts. I mean, number one, give us some backstory on you and how you got to here, and then number two, you've got to tell us about how you arrived at this idea of just cold calling your abandoned carts and getting people back across the finish line.
Of course, man. Yeah. So I appreciate you guys for having me. I'll give a quick 2-minute summary of what I've done and, sort of what led me to this point. Back in 2017, I started a dropshipping store, multiple dropshipping stores. I tested over 30 products. Nothing was really working. And, this is before ChatGPT and all this stuff. You had to go on the ground, go research things and make ads from scratch. So it was really hard back then, but, I somehow managed to, kind of find my niche with influencer marketing. So I was doing a lot of YouTube influencer marketing. I would pay these kind of Fortnite channels and gaming channels to promote my store.
Really?
Yeah. And I went from doing $1,000 a month to well over $150,000 a month while I was still, a freshman in college. And that's when I realized, if I want to take this to the next level, I really have to learn Facebook ads. I have to learn, back end, supplier communications and all this stuff. And that kind of led me to starting a multitude of dropshipping brands over the next couple of years, taking it to about around when TikTok kind of came out. That's when I started to do a lot of organic marketing. I realized that I don't really need to spend money on ads. And, since then we've done about $30 million in revenue from just accumulation of all these stores. I started a marketing agency during this time as well called AdWired. We helped multiple brands scale to, $100K, $1 million plus a month with email marketing, retention marketing, things like that, and also paid ads. But the one thing that I realized, and it's still happening today, right? The problem I always had was the store would start really strong and then over time it would dip, because the customers were not coming back to buy these products again, whether it was the quality of the product, whether it was the marketing, right, whatever it was. But a lot of the times, every store just didn't really succeed beyond the point of the first couple big months. So what I tried to realize was okay, I'm helping all these brands who are, really big brands and are just growing, right? And what's the common denominator between all these brands is that their product is the focus. They care so much about this product that they're selling that when somebody actually gets their product, they don't really see any other option, right? And the founder of Comfort actually cemented this in my head a couple months ago. He said, when someone buys a hoodie from him, they don't think about H&M, they don't think about Zara, they don't think about Nike, whatever it is. They only think about Comfort because of the way that he makes the customer feel when they open the product and actually wear it and they go back to their timeline and see everybody else talking about it. Really makes the experience close to none, right? And most guys in dropshipping, they just sell a product, they get a couple sales, right? Hundreds of thousands, millions, whatever it is. And then really there's no touch to the customer, right? There's really no way for them to improve the product, right? So what I realized was like, okay, if I want to improve my product, I can send all the emails I want. I could do all these surveys and talk to Claude and try to get an understanding as to why the market is moving towards this kind of a feature or this kind of a feature. But I started to realize, like, if I just call these customers, what's the loss? You know, I'm going to spend an hour, maybe 2 hours of my week, right, calling on a Friday. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get so much more data than sitting here trying to prompt Claude or ChatGPT tell me how to make $1 million. Like, it's not going to work. So, you know, I noticed after calling about like 200-300 people over the last few weeks, not only the people who bought, but the people who didn't buy, which is the content you guys probably see, there's just a plethora of information, you know, and I can find, you know, common, you know, reoccurring themes in what people are telling me, right? A lot of people are telling me, you know, they got it because they saw other people had it. They're telling me that they want to change their lives, right? And they're telling me specific features like the straps of our product, like the mechanism of it, like it needs to be adjusted. So these are things that I'm taking back to my manufacturer. We're about to go visit them in China in a couple weeks. So like things like that, I can go to them with real data and be like, guys, look, like after talking to 1,000 people, right, I can tell you actionably, this is what we need to do. And how I got the idea of this was I actually was on Instagram a couple months ago, and I saw these, like, I'm sure you guys have seen them too, these like insurance guys, right? They're picking up the phone. Yeah. Hey man, you know, blah, blah, blah. Did you put in a policy request or something like that? And I'm not in insurance, you know, I don't have like a lot of sales experience. You know, my sales experience is mainly with my agency. So like, it's not like cold calling and things like that. But I kind of saw that and I was like, man, you know, this could be applied to Ecomm. You know, like I've talked to people before who have these like companies that do, you know, cold or basically like calling your abandoned carts, right?
Yeah.
I've pitched this so many times. And like, I was like, man, you know, instead of paying someone to do this, why don't I just do it? Because then I could actually just tell my, you know, creative strategist, hey man, let's take this angle next week. You know, this is a potential good angle here, right? So like, it helps me not only have a touch point to the customer, but ultimately it helps our ad accounts. Because like now we're launching specific angles towards the things, that people are telling us are the reasons that they didn't buy.
Wow.
Kasra, there's a lot there. I mean, number one,
so much there.
I have never heard of anybody calling their abandoned carts. I've heard of people texting their abandoned carts.
Yeah.
I've never seen or heard of people calling their abandoned carts, but there's obviously something to it. Number one, you know, for just education's sake, you know, learning about the product and how to improve it and such. Number two, it makes great content. Number three, you get some sales. You get some sales across the line. I mean, brother, it sounds like you've got a lot going on. I mean, you've got the drop shipping business with weighted vests, I think is what it is. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the content, and you've got an agency. You got an agency that you got going on, marketing agency. I mean, is there anything else there? What all do you have going on, Kasra?
Yeah, so, you know, the agency, we kind of put it on the back burner about 2 years ago now. It's not really my main focus anymore. I still help, you know, people that I was, you know, that were our clients back then. I still talk to them. I still kind of like guide them in the right direction. But, you know, the agency model for me, like, I don't know how to say it. It's just like you're a rented employee almost. And like, for me, I really love building brands. I really love, you know, making an impact in something that I can control 100% of. So that's why I got back into Ecomm about 3 years ago after doing the agency for about 2 years. And, you know, I it's something like, you know, this, like, you want to do something that you enjoy every day, right? It's not about the money. The agency made great money, but if I can do this every day and I actually like it, it doesn't feel like work. The days just go by, right? That's the kind of thing that, you know, I really want to be a part of. And, you know, on the side of, I do have a consulting program where I work with students one-on-one, and I basically help direct them into the position, whether it's, you know, through working for our brand, starting their own brand, right? And at the end of the day, like, that is, you know, what I think, like, you know, through like everything that I've done is what gives me a lot of joy as well, is like seeing somebody go from nothing to making 100,000 to making $1 million, right? You know, truthfully changing their lives and teaching them a skill, right? Because at the end of the day, I can give all this information, but there's only a select amount of people who are going to apply the information, right? So like at the end of the day, that's kind of how I see it. It's not like a huge program. Like, we don't have thousands of students. You know, I only work with a couple people month to month, but it has been able to actually fuel our brand pipeline. Like one of my top students for the last 3 years, he's actually my COO now. So he's working every single day in our companies. And that the only way I found him is he actually came to me to learn, how he can scale his own business. And we just found that it was better for us to work together versus him trying to go start his own thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Kasra, you got to talk to me about some of these insights specifically that you have found from calling your abandoned carts, because I would imagine that conversation is, one, super intimate. The fact that you're saying, hey, basically, I'm the founder of this thing. Just to let you know, you're talking with me, immediately authority across to the customer. They understand that. And then two is, how are you applying that and then applying it to the business? And then the third thing here too, I don't know if you saw what Brez has done with a lot of these ad creatives where they're recording those conversations and then running them as ad creatives. Have you thought about doing that too? Because I mean, you are already recording some of these that are hilarious. I think these would be great ads. I think these would be 100%. So funny to run as ads.
100%. Yeah. So insight wise, right? Like kind of what I've heard from people and like what they've told me, number one, about the product, like a lot of people tell me they love the product, right? The people who bought the product, obviously what I call them, they say, they love the comfort. They love that soft. They love that they can wear it anywhere. So those are like really important insights from people who did buy it. And then sometimes people who did buy it, they also tell me like, oh, well, I'm a little bit overweight. The strap didn't really fit. So that we take that back to the drawing board. But the people who didn't buy, right? A lot of the times, like guys, what I've heard is that, people tell me like, number one, they were on the fence. They didn't have enough information as to which one they actually wanted. So for us, what we did is we went back to our site and back to our, web design system. And we try to create more language around the product pictures. We try to create more language around like the drop downs to kind of explain like, if you're starting off today, this is the best weight for you. If you're a little bit overweight, this is the best weight for you, right? So we're trying to target specifically the type of people who are calling me, or who I'm calling and talking to, and they're telling me, hey man, this is the reason that I didn't really buy. So that's a big thing, like insight wise. And then also too, like obviously like people want more options, which is funny because like you think that you make it more simple. Like our conversion rate is probably like 3.8, almost 4% over the last like 2 or 3 months of starting. So it's a really high conversion rate because we're only offering one color. So now people are telling me, I want green, I want camo, I want yellow, pink, whatever it is. So obviously that, has to, be brought upon by us and allow them to do that. And I think, for anybody who's running an e-com brand, like, I run a clothing brand as well. And on the side of this, and like the SKUs are insane. Like you have to get, small to XL, extra small to 3XL and 5 colors. It's hundreds of SKUs, right? So what I've realized is like, it's not only an ad spend thing, spending more on ads, but it's about fixing these kind of like really targeted, problems between like 2, 3, 4, 5 people, which eventually at scale could be hundreds of people, which could essentially increase your conversion rate. For us, that means, as I said, we're going to China in a couple of weeks. We're going to negotiate some better payment terms with these suppliers. We're going to be talking to different manufacturers, right? Trying to figure out how we can get all these different colors without going out of pocket for all this upfront cost. So things like that are going to allow us to take these insights and apply them directly into the business. And to your point about like running these as ads, that's something that we're working on right now. We actually did take the customer calls, like about 10 of them, and we added them to our product page. We added them to our testimonial page, and our conversion rate's up about like 30 or 40% since like the last 2 or 3 weeks that we did that. So that definitely was a key insight that I saw. Like you said, like, people want to see that. Obviously, like you could put a text review on your product page. Everybody does that. They put the stars and all this stuff. But when they see someone's on the phone and they're saying, man, I love this way to invest. I just used it today. It kind of reaffirms that, there's real people behind this that, also obviously care about the customer themselves, but there's also real people using it. It's not just some like text-based review.
Right. Yeah. I know Chris wants the pink one as well. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Pink is for me.
Chris.
Pink is for me. Yeah. Pink is always for me. So Kasra, it sounds like you've gone away from drop shipping. I mean, if you're flying to China and working with them and, you got hundreds of SKUs.
That's huge.
I mean, I would imagine you're holding inventory now. It sounds like you've gone away from your first few, iterations of success in e-commerce.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
So no, I mean it's a mix of both. Like we still, so like with this store specifically, we're not dropshipping because we have stock, in the US and New Jersey, but because it's only because it's so heavy, right? It's about like 12 to 40 pounds. So if you're shipping a 40-pound package from, Shenzhen, it's going to be $200. It's impossible, right? And it's also still going to take like 10 days, which at the end of the day is the most important thing is people get the product. Alex Hormozi has this value equation, like the whole 9 yards in his book. He talks about, hey, if you want somebody to really like the product or whatever service you're offering, get them the result as fast as possible, right? Like when you go to Amazon and you order something, it gets there in 3 hours. You go back to Amazon because it gets there in 3 hours and you can instantly get the result that you're looking for. So that's kind of the concept with this brand is, we're trying to make it as fast as possible for somebody to get the product and actually use it. But, to answer your question with dropshipping, like I still really do believe in dropshipping to, for somebody who's just trying to get into ecom, right? Because at the end of the day, like you have to understand, like, not everybody has $50,000 to go and put into stock and buy all this inventory before they know something works. So I really do believe in the fact of like proving the concept with dropshipping, right? Using things like Higgsfield, Claude, right? To really speed up the process to be able to actually see, does this marketing work? Like, can I test this for $20, $30, $50 a day and get a couple of sales, right? And for the people who are thinking like dropshipping doesn't work, there is tons of people dropshipping. I mean, on X, you can just see this. If you scroll through, there's guys who are doing $5 million, $1 million a month, right? In their first year, second year of doing this, because the dropshipping model allows them to enter that kind of a market. But yes, I do believe for us, the best kind of case scenario is with this brand specifically to not be dropshipping because, again, we're only advertising in the US as well. We're not selling in other countries. So once we, stabilize in this market, we'll be able to expand because the, product weight is just too big. And, I've been working with the same supplier for pretty much 8 years now. So like this will be the first time we actually meet, put a name to a face to the name, a face to the WhatsApp chat. And I think that's at the end of the day, the real way to scale. It's like, this is a people business. It's not like numbers on a screen. At the end of the day, you guys have to meet these people and you have to, actually shake their hands and see that, the trust can be built with this type of a person, especially because they're working with tons of people, and like, if you actually cement yourself in that relationship, they'll take you a lot more seriously than, maybe someone else that is doing the same numbers as you, or maybe even more than you that they've never met.
I totally agree with this just because I think you completely kind of cut yourself out from all of the, hundred or thousands of people they're working with because you actually took the time to go over there and actually meet them in person. You have to talk to us a little bit about, and you tweeted about this UGC video that you're doing right now with creators. You're not paying anything up front for it. Could you talk a little bit about this? Because UGC is red hot right now. Everybody wants UGC video for ad creative, but you're doing something a little different.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you guys like this, like when I was running my agency, at one point we had well over 100 stores, right? We were running over 100 stores. And back then, even before this, like I was paying my sister, her friends, my cousins. I was like, hey, I'll pay you $20, make me a UGC video. They didn't know what UGC was. I was just more so like needing a model to hold the product, right? And then that kind of evolved. You guys know, everyone at Ecomm knows the Billow and Incense, right? These big platforms that would charge you thousands of dollars.
What?
For like 2 or 3 videos.
Did we lose him?
He's back.
He's back. Are you back, Kasra? Now we have to say, Kasra, we are big fans of Incense. They sponsor this show, brother.
Oh, no. I think they have their place. Like big platforms like Incense, like Billow, they definitely have like their space inside of the inside of scaling, right? But I do think for testing, the best, like TikTok Shop kind of proved this, right? With they democratized basically affiliate marketing. And I think at the end of the day, if somebody believes in the vision of the brand, right, more so than like any sort of payment, they will come out for you as that kind of like superstar, that A player, as people call it, right? So I do think they have their place more so for testing, right? If you're just testing a product and, you don't have that big budget of $10,000, $20,000 to put into these big, UGC campaigns, I think the best way to do it is by going with these incentive-based creators, right? TikTok Shop, as I said, proved this. Not everybody has access to TikTok Shop. There's huge brands outside the US, or maybe people don't even have stock to do this within the US, to go into TikTok Shop. And TikTok Shop has whole problems, right? With violations, with seller approval. it's very hard to get on there. And also it's hard to make it profitable with the percentages and all this stuff. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working with, incentive-based creators. I started about 2 years ago with my students. We had, we were one of the first brands on TikTok Shop back in 2023. So I created a whole training program around TikTok Shop for affiliates and sellers back then about 3 years ago. And a lot of the students that I got from like the last 2-3 years of doing this with TikTok Shop, I actually turned them into affiliates for my brands, right? And one of my partners in Riken right now, he's one of the top affiliates on TikTok Shop. He's done well over $3 million in GMV, selling products. This vest also on TikTok Shop. So I basically took his knowledge, put it into a program, started to train people internally that, we reached out to on TikTok, on Instagram, whatever it was, and also our students to, be our initial affiliates. But now we're using a platform. It's called Tribe. It's like a relatively a new platform.
Yeah, I've heard of this. I think this is Brian Bloom was talking about this. Isn't this Brian Bloom's?
Brian Bloom's an investor in Tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Bloom was talking about this.
Probably an investor. Yeah. Well, yeah. So the guy who founded, his name is Lucas. He's a really cool guy. You guys should definitely talk to him as well. But he started an activewear company about 2 or 3 years ago. And he went from doing like 20, 50K a month to now doing well over $3-4 million a month within a year, right? And he said he dropped his CAC from like $80-90 to like $20 in a year, right? Just from having incentive base. It's insane. You don't hear about that, right? Like who's talking about a 3x reduction in your cost to acquire a customer? Just isn't really heard of, right? And the way he did it is with these, UGC affiliates, right? Kind of authentic based creators, a guy holding his phone talking about this, pants or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I think what he saw was kind of like the problems with TikTok Shop and all the violations and all the high percentages and all this stuff you have to give to TikTok. But what is TikTok good for, right? TikTok Shop specifically, right? Democratizing the affiliate marketing space, right?
Yeah.
All these people can create content. They want you to actually, send them a product so they can make a commission.
Yeah.
So he created Tribe basically, and I'm not affiliated with Tribe. I actually use it. So it's really cool because, you could basically take these same creators from TikTok Shop or people who aren't on TikTok Shop and run their ads on Meta, right? And you could still give them a commission on your sales, on a number of sales, whatever it is, and it has a huge discovery marketplace, right? And I started to notice that, we can only invite about 10, 20 people a day, but we're starting to see a lot of people apply to work with us. So they're coming and asking for a sample. They're coming and asking to be a part of our commission-based program. And I do think like the most important thing, like to get kind of these, because, people will do it obviously for free, but if you send them the product and they don't make you a content and you just send them a product, you could do this 10, 20 times, the money starts adding up with these samples you're sending out. So I do the same thing that I do with the customers that I do with these affiliates, and I get on the phone with them, right? And I give them an offer. I'm like, look, guys, I want to make you rich. I want to make you very successful. I want to make you be able to get to the point that you want to get to in your life. The way I can do this is you make me 30 videos, 50 videos, 100 videos, and I'll guaranteed pay you an X amount. Maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's $600, right? Or I'll pay you the commission, right? 10% of our sales if it's higher, right? So it's either or. But they see that, okay, well, this founder of a multi-million-dollar brand is coming to me and telling me, hey, I need you to make me 20, 30 videos. They're going to go make 20, 30 videos, right? It's not that hard, right, at the end of the day. So that's kind of how we're doing it. And I think that, every brand can benefit from this, especially if you're running meta ads, because, Tribe makes it really easy. Like I just launched like 30 ads last night and it takes like 2 seconds to launch them. People submit them, you let them know, hey man, like I don't like this, I don't like this. But if you approve them, you can launch them directly into Meta, and then the commission gets paid right back to the affiliate every single week.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
I mean, that I think a really interesting thing that you kind of sprinkled in there is the fact that your customers can be your best advocates for video content. And so few brands are actually calling their customers asking for video content. I have been in e-commerce for, I would say, a while now. I have not heard of a founder reaching out to customers on the phone and asking for video content at scale from their customers. I don't know about you, Chris. I have not come across
that many.
There's not that many guys doing that. It's slim, and that is I would say as the kids say, a cracked method right now.
Cracked. Yes, it's cracked. It's untapped, man. These
customers call the creators.
Like you said, man, it's I think the founder of Comfort Hudson, he laid this out really well. he said you have your core creators, right? The people who are diehard for your brand. They're not going to go work with another company just in your same niche. They like you for you. And obviously you're probably having them on like a retainer or some like, payment structure where, you talk to them every day. And then you have like your kind of like TikTok shop affiliates, right? Whatever it is, like, other platform affiliates, people who just apply to work with you. They promote 10 brands. It's not really, you don't have like a connection to them, right? As a person, as the owner of the brand. And then you have kind of the seeding, right? And the seeding is where you can like send out these products to, big people or your customers, right? You can call these customers, put them in a Discord chat. And that's something we're building right now as well, is we're building, a Discord group for our customers. So once they buy, because I'm calling them, right? You said like, they're saying, I love the product. And at the end, I always try to pitch them like, hey, look, like if you want to make some, because they always tell me like, oh, maybe my sister wants one, maybe my buddy wants one. And I'm like, look, even better. I'll send you an affiliate link. So when you actually use the vest, you can take a couple videos, pictures, whatever it is, send it to us, and then we'll run it as ads, and then you'll get paid directly. And I think, platforms like Tribe, they allow this to be done at scale. Because before, you had to make some link and send it to the person. They had to put in their bio and then spreadsheets and all this stuff. It gets kind of cluttered. So I do think the customers are the people who, actually like the product to, purchase it. And also they could be, like you said, your best advocate inside of this, kind of affiliate acquisition. A lot of people think you have to go pay people or look for affiliates specifically. But, if you're getting even 5 orders a day, 1 or 2 of those people could easily, promote your product if they're the, kind of person that would do that. So.
Wow.
Well, I think there's a lot there. I think there's a lot there, Kasra. And, a lot of this is born from your willingness to pick up the phone and call your customers, turn them into creators, etc., and run it up and to the right. Kasra, man, we appreciate you coming and joining us. You got to tell everybody where to find you, where to follow you, where to learn more from you. Where do they go, Kasra, if they want to talk to you?
Yeah, man. Well, look, so I'm pretty active on Twitter, on X. You guys can follow me. It's at Kasra Moradi. I'm also on Instagram. It's Ecomm with Kasra, but any platform, Twitter, Instagram. I have a lot of YouTube videos as well where I do challenges, taking new products to, $1,000 a day. Also just like whiteboard videos explaining all the stuff. So if you guys want to see more of that, you can just type in my name into YouTube, and I upload like 2 to 3 times a week on there as well. So
wow.
Let's
go, Kasra. Brother, we appreciate you coming, and we look forward to talking to you again, my friend. Keep those videos coming out our way, brother.
Yes, sir, and I'll send you that pink vest, dude.
That's awesome.
Kasra is hilarious. As we move forward, we've got a couple more lightning round stories to cover. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Rocked After Sell. Guys, most D2C brands are obsessed with the next new customer, as they should be. But the real lever is making more profit from the orders that you already get. If you get 5,000 orders a month, if you can just add another $3 or $4 to each one of those without touching your ads, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, it would. That is exactly what brands like Olakai, Cozy, Earth, Groove Live, they are already doing with Rocked After Sale by adding post-purchase downsells, upsells, etc., from cart through the thank you page, and then stacking an extra 30 to 50 cents just by showing offers after the order is complete from Disney Plus, HelloFresh, Venmo, etc. High margin revenue straight to your bottom line. No hit to conversion, no impact on LTV, and you can be live within minutes. If you're already getting orders, you should get more out of them. Go to aftersale.com/offers. Get in on it today. Start monetizing more what you have already built. Many thanks for Rocked After Sale being part of the show. Now, another interesting post here from Ben Corkery, everyone's favorite Canadian new shipping offer, Founder Concierge, hand delivered in person by Ben. Just a slight $3,000 upcharge. Standard shipping, you get it in a few days, $5, no problem. If you want Ben to hand it to you in person, he will do so for a small fee of $3,000. I actually think this is pretty hilarious. Is this actually on his site? Do you know if this is actually on his site? Is it real?
That's real on his site, and I think it's by location based. So if you order within his city where he lives in, he'll hand deliver it to you. I thought this was hilarious. He admitted the fact that this was taken from another founder. He had admitted to the fact that he kind of stole this idea, but this went crazy viral. And so this is kind of thinking outside of the box. He more so did it for the fact that people are going to take screenshots of this and share them online and basically be like, well, for an extra $3,000, I can have the founder drop it off to me.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I think this is so funny where it's like, okay, cool. I want to do a viral move. What's something that's super funny? What's something that I can do that's pretty low lift? Okay, if you want me to drop my product off to you and you live in Charlotte, I'll charge you $3,000. I'll drive to you. I'll meet you.
Happy to.
It's like a nice little meet and greet action.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
An appearance fee. An appearance fee, one might say.
An appearance fee. It's like unbelievable. I think this could really work. I'm going to be so serious about this now. For influencer brands, I think this could legitimately work.
It could legitimately work.
Like on an actual like scale for like Kylie Cosmetic, for these types of brands where the founder is a celebrity. A great example is like Chamberlain Coffee. Emma Chamberlain, if you're, where she is and you charge X amount of dollars, I don't know. It could be a great gift that you could give someone if they're a huge fan of them and the brand.
Yeah.
There's this really interesting thing that he kind of unveiled and spotlighted. And I want people to be more intentional about this and actually do this if you have a celebrity brand behind you.
I mean, how much do you think it would cost to have Emma Chamberlain show up? How much? She might need 5 figures.
$5,000.
Do you think she'd do it for 5?
I mean, think about how many you would book.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anybody would take you up on it.
So that's what I'm saying is like, if you are in LA or you're New York City and the ease for me to get to you and I'm the founder and I'm in New York City and you're giving me a couple window, say it's $5,000. I'm a New York City founder and I'm a
Not
celeb,
bad.
but like you stack those up and you're like, hey, New York City founder, for the next 2 days, we're going to do 16 deliveries. So 16 times 5. What's the math on that? Does anyone want to do the math?
No public math for me.
It's
80 grand, something like that.
It's 80 grand. Yeah, it's like 80 grand. Okay, 2 days and 80 grand for the brand, and you get to record all of that and turn it basically into content. And it's like
high margin too.
Something here. I think there's something here. I really do.
Might be something there. New shipping offer just dropped, as brought to us by Ben Corkery. I would say I would be happy. I'd be happy to do that. I just need a slight discount. But
yeah,
who knows? Maybe I'll just wait. Maybe I'll just wait until Ben comes to Austin again, and then I'll place my order and try to strategically be near him when he does. And then maybe he'll waive my fee. Maybe, just maybe, perhaps.
What celebrity founder brand do you think this would absolutely crush because of the founder's personality? Because I think that's the key here. Because Ben is great and he's hilarious, so it kind of works. Because you can meet him, he's funny, he's hilarious. But there's some founders where it's like
Portnoy. I mean, there's a ton of people who would love Portnoy to show up.
He drops the high noons off.
Yeah. Portnoy drops off the high noons.
That's
Michigan fan who's watching the game, the Ohio State game, and they're gonna have Portnoy come drop off the high noons during the game and show up at the party. I mean, I think there'd be a lot of people who'd pay for that.
That's a perfect example because he already has a media house already behind him to record all of that.
Yeah,
and he's in New York City. So like, I think there's a real viability here. Like we posted this as a joke and it's like, haha, but like,
come to it.
I think you could probably do 6 figures like within a couple days off of this.
Yeah. I guess at a certain point though, the trade-off is like, how much is his hours worth?
Oh,
You
totally.
know,
100%. At some point, it doesn't make sense. But
at some
like
point, it doesn't make sense.
for 2 days of content, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting, and I think we should see it. We should see it, and maybe we will now that we have had this segment, and we shall put it forth upon the interwebs. Some more good news. Some more good news. Equip Prime Protein goes nationwide at Sprouts. This comes to us from Kieran Matthew, who we were supposed to have on the show. Kieran, you must come back. We must have you on the show, sir. Today, we're proud to be launching nationwide in Sprouts, bringing our best-selling Prime Protein flavors alongside an exclusive chocolate peanut butter flavor, always my favorite, chocolate peanut butter, that truly tastes like a peanut butter cup. We're working to establish a third protein variant on shelves across the U.S. this year. A little sauce for us. Whey and plant-based have dominated retail for decades, but there's real incremental demand for grass-fed beef protein. I think if I can have a choice, I want grass-fed beef protein. Don't you? I mean, that's like a no-brainer for me.
I also think, and I don't know if you experienced this, but I've experimented with quite a lot of proteins.
Yeah.
When you go for like the lesser quality, less expensive protein, you're not feeling good afterwards.
Really?
You're kind of like, my stomach's hurting. I'm like, I don't know if I really should have done that. I'm not feeling good. I'm
Wish I
feeling like,
hadn't.
yeah, I wish I hadn't. I'm feeling like the blob a little bit. So if I can get a protein that actually makes me feel good and is good for me, I love that. And Sprouts is an absolutely great establishment.
I mean, to your point, Kieran brings out here an animal-based dairy-free protein that's nutrient-dense and easier on the gut. That's one of his points.
Huge. It's such a big issue for protein powder where there's a couple protein powders. I will not say who they are, but they're very, very mass mainstream, and they rip you up, and not in a good way. They're a devil to drink down. I mean, it is not fun. And so,
when it comes to protein powder, I just get what comes from Costco. What's on sale at Costco is just what I grab. But I will say, grass-fed beef protein that tastes like a peanut butter cup sounds awesome. We need to get our hands on some Quip. And congrats to the team for making this happen. He says retail for them is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's big mileage that has just been covered. We're coming to our first watch and react of the show here today, and I believe that you are going to thoroughly enjoy this ad that we have surfaced for you, Colin. This was Jai and I who found this morning. I believe that you will thoroughly enjoy it. We're going to watch it together and react to it.
I found this ad.
No, this was me. This was me.
I think I found this ad. Yeah.
Dang. I thought I found this.
I'm pretty sure if it's the right ad.
There's like so many things every day.
Let's see.
That we find. I thought I was gonna have something hot.
I found
fresh.
this.
You found this one.
I found this.
All right, bring us in the middle here, Jack. Okay.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Let's do this. So this is a fragrance battle, UFC style. Okay. Bring it back. Bring it back to the start, Jack, and let's turn the sound on.
Who knows this will be imagined. You cost $35 and you think you can sit at this table? Bro, I'm $300. You're a jar of lotion. You might smell like me, but I am the real deal. I have the luxury branding. What do you have? I was formulated by Jacques Beltran and I have years of heritage. What do you have?
Same scent oils, different lead. My shea butter bonds the scent to your skin for 12 plus hours. You? Alcohol-based and lasts 2 hours. You dry the skin out, I moisturize. Free skin.
Whoa!
I give men real presents with pheromones.
What's your secret? Put me on at 7 a.m. People will still notice you at 7 p.m. Women will lean closer to you and hug you tighter. I make sure you smell like a king from sunrise to sunset. Stop researching for another $300 cologne. Try me for $35 instead.
Goated.
Oh my gosh.
Goated ad. Goated ad.
Unbelievable. Who came up with this?
You should have saved this for ad versus ad. is what you should have done.
This is crack.
I would have. First of all, I hope that you would have said, "I am going second," is what I hope that you have said. Colin is saying, "I'm going to go second. I'm going to close us out," because if you had shown me this, I would have immediately forfeit. Because this is such a good ad, an incredible format.
I mean, who's thinking of this? How do you think about this? I think that ad is going to be sent to many a creative team this week and probably today and say, we need to get on this level. We need to start thinking about this level of ad creative. This is unbelievable. It's crazy that we can just make this now.
This is so good. Camilo, this comes to us from Camilo Castaneda. And she says, or he says, sorry, excuse me, Camilo. They say here, if your creative team isn't making ads like this, are they even creative?
100%. 100%.
It's a good question.
It is an interesting thing to say, hey, we need to push the creative boundary at least once a week or at least once every 2 weeks with something like this. Something crazy out of the box.
Tom Selleck's ulcer, which is kind of like a hilarious account name.
Amazing.
Tom Selleck's ulcer says this is insane, but also load the UFC cease and desist. Which is totally true. Totally true. Yeah, no, for sure. It's got the famous UFC fighter at the end of it that's doing the interview. What's his name?
You don't have Joe Rogan in there.
No, it's not Rogan.
Cormier.
It's
Cormier. Daniel Cormier.
Yeah,
they have Cormier in there.
Yeah, Cormier is there at the end doing the interview. Yeah, Cormier.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's no way. And then there's the UFC logo in the background. The UFC logo is in the background while they're doing the. There's no way. Nabil Aziz says this: if your creative team isn't trying to get you sued by the FTC, UFC, and Daniel Cormier, are they even creative? Yeah. And perhaps not. Alex Griefeld says, "Don't forget LVMH." Totally true. Sometimes you got to take some swings. You don't want to get sued, but
I think they can clean this up.
A cease and desist every now and again. Maybe it shows you on the right track.
I think they could clean this up and make it a legit, easier ad than what they have right now, because it is upsetting some folks and they'll probably get a cease and desist. Yeah. I think they could do a legit version of this.
They could totally do a legit version, and they should, because 100%. It's a baller ad. It's a baller ad, and it makes me want to watch it, and it makes me want to buy it.
Imagine at Bruce Bolt, you made ads where it's the batter versus the pitcher, and they're just chirping at each other the whole time. You know what I mean? And then the batter wins because he's got the gloves and he just hits a home run. Yeah. There's something to this where you can make you are positioning your David versus Goliath, and you're putting your product as the David, but eventually it crushes Goliath.
Yeah. Or, batters going against 12-year-old batters going against a Shohei Ohtani lookalike who's on the mound, and
throwing heat.
It's not Shohei, but it kind of looks like Shohei,
throwing heat.
You gotta walk that line. You gotta walk that line there. Look good, hit dingers. That was the number one. That was our number one tagline for every ad.
I remember that.
Look good, hit dingers, baby.
Let's go.
As we move forward to our next watch and react, ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about Northbeam. If you are in your ads manager all day long, you know the problem. Every platform takes credit and every dashboard tells a different story. Meta says 4.2 ROAS. TikTok claims the same conversion, all while Shopify shows $500K in revenue on $200K ad spend. It is a problem. Which one is lying? Honestly, maybe a little bit of all of them. Hard to say. Northbeam fixes this with their own proprietary data, starting from the actual purchase, then rebuilding the customer journey from real orders, real clicks, and real verified ad views. Doesn't that sound nice? Yes, it does. And they push that measurement back into the ad platform. So optimization runs on what's actually driving your revenue, not what the platforms assume is driving your revenue. Start measuring what was previously unmeasurable today. Go to northbeam.io, book your demo now. Many thanks for Northbeam being part of the show. Now, story we have spoken of recently several times during the show already. We will now show to the good people. College students booing the former CEO of Google at the Arizona graduation. It's specifically the first 10, 15 seconds or so, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. We shall see. He references AI and he gets it. He gets
I got to
it.
see this.
So this has happened actually several times. This is not the only graduation. This has happened
Let's see
at
this.
Jack. Play it for us and give us some volume.
Every classroom, every hospital, every laboratory, every person, and every relationship you have. I know what many of you are feeling about that. I can hear you. There is a fear.
It's so not cool.
There is a fear in your generation that the future has already been written, that the machines are coming, that the jobs are evaporating, that the climate is breaking, that politics is fractured, and that you are inheriting a mess that you did not create. And I understand that fear. It's rational, and it's amplified every day by social media platforms with algorithms that have learned with great precision that fear earns clicks and that anxiety drives engagement. But I want to say something to you this evening as clearly as I can. To speak of the future as though it has already been decided is to surrender the one thing that actually matters. You are surrendering your agency.
Okay, you can stop it here, Jack.
Does
you
not
can stop it here. I think he's making a good point. He's making a good point. Don't cede your agency. Don't give in to the narrative that, hey, your future's already bad, because of what the boomers did. You've got no future. AI's taking all your jobs. And it is a good message. But the fact that he is talking about AI there at the first, which the Post makes clear, he's talking about AI, and in that context, as he's talking about it, he starts getting booed. It is indicative of the times and how college students, who you have mentioned, are using AI to get their degrees. It's indicative of how they feel heading out of college and into the working world. And I think it's a problem. I think it underscores a messaging problem and perhaps a verifiable reality that the mass amount of people, the common man, is feeling in view of what AI is going to do and how it's going to affect. And I think this underscores an actual problem here, even though I think his messaging is right. It's like out of pocket. that like somebody, the students would boo at, their graduation speech given by the former CEO of Google. I think this underscores a real problem.
I mean, this is unbelievable, though. The former CEO of Google is speaking to you at your graduation, and you, in that moment, are going to boo him because of a trigger word with AI, and you can't move forward with that. I think this actually more so shows a lack of discipline from the students and a lack of how serious they are entering into the real world, because you can kind of get, AI is going to get crushed, blah, blah, blah. That's just the way the world works. That's just how it's going to happen. And, people wanted to be upset when laptops entered the world, when computers enter the world, but you just have to adjust to it and move forward. I don't think you can just boo someone for giving their opinion at your graduation about this thing.
Not good. Not good.
I think that's insane. I mean, for him to take the time out of his day, he was the former CEO of Google. He has so much money. I mean, unbelievable amounts of money.
He probably got a nice appearance fee, one would imagine.
I really don't think he's doing it for that, to be so honest with you.
Of course. No need. But probably he did.
I didn't get anybody at my graduation to speak. I didn't have anybody. I'm gonna be so honest. I didn't have anybody cool. You know how sweet it would have been if this guy came, or Mark Cuban, or anybody, and I would have been hanging on every single word because I'm actually going into the tech, ecosystem of all of this, and I want to understand what he's thinking about. And he's basically saying this is a moment for you to arm yourself, to actually use this as a way to propel yourself forward. And there's this like fear mindset that's coming from the audience that's like, oh, it's going to crush everything. I'm so afraid I'm not going to get any jobs. And I just think that's totally loser, totally loser mindset when you need to be thinking about this in an entirely different way.
Well, I mean, I think he would agree with you, but it does underscore the point that this feeling is out there. And, you know, I can't say it's unwarranted. I can't say it's unwarranted. You know, it's like totally unfounded. You know, I mean, there's a there's a reason why people feel this way. Now we'll see how it plays out. I have been back and forth on this, and Jack, I sent you in Slack another video that I'd like you to bring up. I messaged it to you in Slack that where this same thing happens. But I've been back and forth on this. I don't know that everybody's, all our jobs are going away. I don't know. I've been back and forth on it. I'm undecided. The future, I mean, we'll know. Give us 6 months, give us 18 months, give us 3 years. We'll see. There are more, software engineering jobs today than there were yesterday. We thought they were all going away, but they're not. So we'll see. But play this, Jack, because the same thing happens again. And I think it underscores that there is a messaging problem, and everybody in AI needs to find out how to sweet talk. They need to find out how to message and market their products. Play this for us, Jack.
I struck a chord. May I finish? Only a few years ago, AI was not a factor in our lives.
Hilarious.
Okay, all right, you can stop it there. I think your thought and what the former CEO of Google was saying, totally right. That's the mindset everybody needs to have.
Yeah.
But I also think that everybody working at OpenAI, Anthropic, et cetera, everybody, they need to find a way to craft this thing, because it's been poorly marketed to the masses. And if there's going to be if you're interested in direct to consumer AI, if you're interested in the consumer facing side of AI, then you need to find a winsome messaging point to bring to the masses. Otherwise, this is what's out there. And there's a reason why everybody's like, commenting on Instagram and hating on AI in general. It is a marketing problem.
I agree. There's a marketing problem with AI right now for the sentiment among younger folks. I will also say public speaking is deathly hard to do. And
not that easy.
It's extremely hard to do. And there are thousands upon thousands of students that both of these people had to speak to. And to make their speaking event even harder for them, because you can't get over AI and the fact that you have to adjust to it, is kind of a loser mentality.
You sound like a boomer right now. I agree with you.
No,
I agree with you.
It's not a boomer. I think they need to adapt to AI or die. I'm saying that they have to adapt to AI or die, because that's just the way of the world. Great. Like, you can be like, oh, great, when we didn't have AI 5 years ago, but it's like, that's not the way of the world anymore. Like, okay, I could have bought my house in 2000 when interest rates were 2%, but that's just not the way of the world anymore. You know what I mean? It's like times change. You got to adjust.
That's the key with real estate is, being born in the late 50s so that you can time the real estate market right. Like that's what the boomers got right. And we all need to learn from that, I would say.
You get your house for $50,000.
Yeah. Or, a handful of blueberries and an IOU,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what
the bank's fine with it.
that's why we all need to take responsibility for that and
Yeah.
learn to time the market better, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
100%.
good. Yeah, good takeaways. Good takeaways from this segment. As we move forward to, I would consider this a very important piece of the day. Before we get there, let us talk about Proxima AI. Ladies and gentlemen, your buyer data already knows what ad you need to make next. You just can't read it yet. Most brands, they brief from instinct. They look at what perform, make a guess, hand it off to the creatives inside of your org to make something with it. The problem isn't effort, it's that you don't have any signal from your actual buyer. Proxima changes that input by reading the conversions of tons of customers across 2,000 plus e-commerce brands and shows you exactly who's buying, what they are responding to, and where your account has creative gaps. You connect Meta, you connect your Shopify. Proxima maps every conversion back into a segment inside their commerce graph, what they buy across the web, what they respond to, who you are not reaching, etc. And suddenly all the gaps are visible. And what you get is a creative brief feed that is based on actual data rooted in your customers, what they want, your best performing ads, and the ones that you don't have yet. Every brief grounded in the commerce graph. See who bought, see what to make next. Connect your store, get a feed of creative briefs, first 3 briefs every month. Many thanks for Proxima being part of the show. Stop the slop. Go to proxima.ai today. Is the feed fake? Is the feed fake? We covered the story yesterday.
Boo.
We covered this story
Feel good, doesn't
yesterday.
it?
And there is a significant story for us to cover again today. Okay, there was a new launch, a new tech launch. Many people have posted about this, all of the things, they are fake. Anything going viral has been engineered to go viral. A new launch today from Victor.com, VAKTOR. I don't know anybody there. I think it's probably a great product. They are announcing a 75 million Series A raise. Okay. Earlier in the day, when this was first brought to us, they had 4.8 thousand retweets. A lot of retweets. That is a lot. Today, right now, they're still sitting at 4.8 thousand retweets. What I will say was significant at the time was that those 4.8 thousand retweets came inside of the first hour. And there was, a handful of likes, many retweets. Our good friend, Tommy T. Clark Media, our good friend Tommy Clark documented this at the time. Bring us to the next one, Jack. Show us Tommy's. Oh, you may not have it. Tommy denoted this at the time with his post was bro, come on. There were 4.9 thousand retweets, only 133 likes and 53 bookmarks at the time. Now, that is, not quite the case now. Their numbers have leveled out. And, the thought here is like, come on, this was engineered, not genuinely viral, a bit of a problem here. And we did see some people participating in the retweeting inside of our community. Now, I'm not one to throw shade. Okay. I'm not one to throw shade. We start this show. I say every time ads are not bad. It's okay. Paid partnership. That's good. Not a problem. We all pay Meta to sell things every day to people on the internet. It's what we do. And we pay other platforms to sell things on the interwebs. Ads are not bad. Ads are not bad. And the retweets that I saw had the paid partnership tag appropriately in place. Honestly, just me talking. I'm not the FTC, but honestly, I wouldn't be that mad if they didn't. But it is. That's the rule. It's how you're supposed to play. And I saw the paid partnership label, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. This is like distribution from my standpoint. And look, if you got to pay to play, you got to pay to play. But it is interesting. It is of note. And your thoughts on this, Colin?
There's an arbitrage moment happening right now inside of Twitter, and this is kind of that moment in full force. And so you have the ability to basically ramp up aggressively to explode into everybody's timelines if you can orchestrate a mass kind of push to one specific post. And by mass, I mean hundreds to thousands of accounts have to engage with this one post. It's business. It is people trying to get distribution. It is an arbitrage moment. I can't knock them for this. I think this is a really smart thing to do because they're getting very aggressive distribution, and more power to them because business is already so hard. There are so few kind of arbitrage moments within business period, especially for B2B SaaS. And so if you can orchestrate one of these moments and hit a home run and actually push out really aggressively and hard and organize, plan, and structure and launch this, great. And if you can afford to do this, because this was probably, I would argue, somewhat expensive.
What would you guess?
No idea. I would say within the 5 to 6 figure range.
Ooh! Well,
that would be my guess.
Hey, they probably wouldn't have done it if there wasn't good reason for it to be worth it. And look, I'll just say this: like, I think the virtue signaling on this kind of stuff needs to back off. Like, especially inside. Especially, I'll say this for marketers. I am a marketer. I think the virtue signaling needs to back off because we all pay to sell stuff every day, and sometimes marketers don't like being marketed to, and that's fine. But I think it's okay. I don't see any problem with it. And good on him. I hope Victor is great. Go ahead.
I will say most of the virtue signaling is coming from people that have never been on the B2B SaaS side of things.
Yeah.
It's really fun to be the brand side where you're the girl in the red dress and you're the darling, where everyone's coming up to you at the party trying to woo you and seduce you. If you're on the B2B tech side of things, no one's talking to you. You know what I mean? You are literally in a corner alone in a cave. And maybe you get thrown a piece of salami every now and then to keep your appetite at bay, but no one is interacting with you. And so I would say this is a great thing. And I am saying it's a very hard thing to pull off, very intentional attention to B2B software.
Yeah. I'll say this too. I think if you've had a sales position directly, very specifically, not dabbled in sales because, you own an agency and you got to dabble a little bit, a few sales calls. No, you eat if you sell. Your kids have a roof if you make a sale. And if you don't, then you're shipping out. And mama and the babies got to go with you because daddy didn't make a sale. If you have worked in sales, it just not as much of a problem. But I think marketers who have not worked in sales that didn't don't bother me. I think at the under formation of this, it's we all eat, we all got to sell. Everybody's selling something. So, and if you say you don't have anything to sell, you probably are already incredibly wealthy, and good for you. The rest of us all have something to sell. Literally everyone has something to sell. Even if you're in education, you have an ideology, you have a point of truth you are trying to sell, and you're trying to inculcate to your students. Everybody is in sales, and everybody has something to sell, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not bad. It's okay. Relax. We're all happy. If your ads do well, we're all happy for you. That's okay. That's good. And hey, if Victor's launch goes well, I'm happy for them. I don't know what it does, but I hope it's a great product, and good on them for getting great distribution. Is my tack. That's my take.
Spicy show for us today. A little bit of spice, a little bit of hotness.
A little spice, a little hot under the collar. As we go to the best of the rest and our moment of zen. Before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about incense. We all want better ads, don't we? Yes, we do. But it's hard to get actual human creators involved manually, negotiating usage rights, finding the right ones, etc. Incense is the all-in-one UGC influencer marketing platform that solves this problem and makes creative scalable. All-in-one platform, vetted creator marketplace, automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management, content delivered in as little as 14 days. So much better than just finding a random TikTok and hoping it changes the trajectory of your business. They have just released the UGC Playbook 2.0. Get it at the URL scrolling across the screen. Spoiler alert, Andromeda is a good thing, and the path forward is modular UGC. Go to incense.pro, test drive the platform today. Talk with them. Tell them Colin I sent you many thanks for Incense being part of the show. Now, wrap things up here as we are on our way out. Some people still don't believe that people with money are on these mobile games, buying things, seeing ads, going over, actually purchasing. Some people just think, oh, it's a bunch of kids probably who don't have any money playing these mobile games. Not the case. Not the case. And we have a tweet here from Whop over at AppLovin, who is denoting an actual customer playing a mobile game. He is here flying, one would guess, toward the front of the plane. Okay, you're toward the front of the plane. You got a little money. You got a few dollars to spend. This older gentleman here, one would guess, upper 70s, I would guess, somewhere in his 70s or above. And he's got a mobile game there that he's playing. You know what he's looking at as he's playing those games? He's getting a few goated advertisements that he's going to watch on average for 35 seconds each. Underscore this W for our friends over at Axon by AppLovin. Am I wrong? Am I crazy, Colin? Am I crazy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I've seen this time and time again. I think also not just kids are playing games. I think a lot of, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I think a lot of boomers are playing games on their iPad.
Yeah.
And they're using it and they're scrolling and they're doing all the things with their glasses, kind of getting it like this. But the boomers have all the money. Let's be so honest with ourselves here. They got all the money to spend. And they're spending on their grandchildren. They're spending on their children. They're spending on themselves. And so, yeah, you can go after these folks and get a ton of money because they're hanging out there. Not just kids. Everybody's playing mobile games.
And I will say, too, probably spending on their dogs, their beloved furry friends that are living there. They got a few dollars to spend. They're playing mobile games, and you should go get your ads on Axon by AppLovin. Next tweet to round things out: how to win internet. How does one win internet? This tweet comes to us from Chris Orzi. That's a nice Facebook ad you have there. Direct competitor of mine. Would be a shame if someone clicked on it 400 times. That's right. It would be. Have you ever done anything like this, Colin? Probably not.
No,
Can't imagine.
This is crazy.
I will have to say there have been times where, client of mine, friend of mine, you Google them, you go find the website. What you do not do, if you know, you don't click the sponsored Google advertisement of their link. You don't do that because I'm not going to cost them money, even though it's already here and it's the link that I'm looking for. I scroll down. There have been times where I'm looking for a competitor and it comes up. I'm just going to go ahead and click that sponsored placement there. I'm just going to go ahead and cost my whatever dollar.
That's crazy.
Cents click, whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and click that bad boy.
New method just dropped. CAS, clicks as a service. You hire us and we'll click on your competitors' ads 100,000 times a day and just destroy them.
That's the troll toll. You got to pay the troll toll. That's the troll toll there.
That'd be brutal.
That would be brutal. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's not cool.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, don't do that. That's not cool. Seriously.
I do confess that I have done that before. Not 500 times, but I have done that before. Melanie Balky brings this tweet to us. You hate to see it. Every email marketer cringes at this one when they see it. She asks the question, did someone just send out an email with the Klaviyo title as the subject line? And the answer is yes.
God.
The title, subject line here for this email from Hydrant is 519-email-plain air is brutal. Period. Get to free.
Oh my
You hate to
gosh.
see it. Not funny. Not funny. I have made mistakes like this myself several times. Wish I hadn't. It does happen. It is painful every time. It's like eating glass. It's horrible.
Check your work, folks.
You don't sleep well at night.
Check your work, folks. You never want to get this text from your founder.
No, you don't. And it has happened to me. Pour one out for our friends and our email marketing friends over at Hydrant. Last moment of Zen here that will bring up a video for everyone to exit the day with. No volume on this, Jack. This is a story of a delightful little frog that a customer found inside of his salad bag alive, living his best life, doing well, quite literally alive in his salad bag that this customer got from the grocery store. Frog is doing well, looks healthy. Not sure how he got in there, but he was there. As we watch this video, Colin, any words of wisdom, give you the last word for the day before we depart?
Don't kill your little friend here. Make sure you give him a good life, give him some water, and let him fly free. You know what I mean?
Let him fly free.
Glad
that he made it. Glad that he made it.
Many
thanks for you joining us. Many thanks to Kasra for joining us, giving us some insight on the path forward today and incentivizing creators. It seems to be everywhere among us now, and one has to get into it. Many thanks for Northbeam, Incense, Seguno, Postscript, Rocked, After Sale, Axon by AppLovin, Proxima, and Universal Ads for making the show possible. Many thanks to you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. We'll see you on the other side.